Good morning Davao, Mindanao. Good morning North, South, East, and West. This is Gilbert Lopez Martije Catso. Before we continue, will you give me a thumbs up? Share it to your friends, click the bell button, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you can't do it, or you don't feel like doing it, it's fine to me. I know your time is valuable. Obviously, I understand that. Just play the video till the end. The more time it runs, the more YouTube will push it to others. But if you have the ability to do it, it will cost you nothing. Thank you very much. For the headlines, weather forecast. Intertropical Convergence Zone, ITCZ, affecting Palawan. Easterlies affecting the eastern section of the country. Local news. Visman faced non-liable 7 million shabu wraps in Davao. PRRD claims to know Kibuloy's whereabouts. Davaoeños warned to La Nina weather risk. No truths to claims. National news. AFP hardens facilities versus missile threats. Other attacks. Browner PBBM okays AFP intention to acquire multi-rule fighters. International news. CNA explains, could Joe Biden be replaced as a contender in the US election? After this debate performance, Biden's reject growing pressure to abandon his campaign vows to stay to the end. International news. Alif Aziz, a Rouhanis pled not guilty to close proximity charges, will go on trial in October. Claudine Barreto flattered, amused by viral "thank you so much" trend. Sports news. German Interior Minister condemns Turkish defender for using Euro 2024 as platform for racism as UEFA opens investigations. Gilas Pilipinas shocks the world's number 6 Latvia in strong FIBA Olympics qualifying tournament opener. Featured stories. There are some Dubai's most expensive luxury hotels or hotel rooms. BGC's Savage MNL closes down after 6 years. Side story. Trivia. Don't you know that Davao City is known as the durian capital of the Philippines? Weather forecast. Intertropical Convergence Zone ITCZ affecting Palawan. Easterlies affecting the eastern section of the country. Davao City will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms due to localized thunderstorms with possible flash floods and landslides during the severe thunderstorms. Local news. Visman faces non-bailable 7 million shabu wraps in Davao City. The Davao City Police Office DCPO will file several legal charges, including one non-liability case against a businessman arrested on Wednesday morning, July 3, 2024, for processing 7 million pesos worth of illegal drugs. 51-year-old suspect identifies as alias Jose was previously arrested by Task Force Davao TFD. He voluntarily surrendered his drug stash hidden in his house in Maa to Davao authorities with the collaboration of the Toril Police Office. Authorities recovered a jumbo-sized transparent plastic bag wrapped in a packaging tape containing a white crystalline substance believed to be shabu, marked as RBM-1. In media interview, DCPO spokesperson Captain Hazel Tuason said the suspect is charged under Section 11 of Republic Act 9165, also known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act of 2002, due to the quantity of drugs seized. The suspect will not be eligible for bail. On June 1, TFD arrested Jose at the Sirawan checkpoint for processing 100,000 worth of shabu and illegal firearms. FPRRD claims to know Kibuloy's whereabouts. Former President Rodrigo Rua Duterte P. FPRRD recently claimed he has information on the whereabouts of Pastor Apollo Kibuloy, founder of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, KJC, despite denying involved in April regarding Kibuloy's human trafficking charges. Duterte made his remarks during a media interview in the Maisog rally in Tacloban City on June 30, 2024, hinting he knew Kibuloy's location but declined to disclose it. But if you ask where the pastor is, I know where the pastor is, but it's a secret, Duterte said. However, Philippine National Police PNP spokesperson Colonel Jane Fajardo emphasized in national briefing that they have yet to investigate Duterte's statement. Fajardo underscored the need to understand the context of Duterte's words, considering potential legal implication for everyone withholding information about a wanted person. Davaoenos warned of La Nina weather risks. Davao City Disaster Risk. The City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, CDRRMO, has advised Davaoenos living near rivers, creeks, and landslide-prone areas to remain vigilant, especially during the rainy season. Alfredo Baluran, head of CDRRMO, said in a phone interview with Sunstar Davao on Tuesday afternoon, July 2, 2024, that the Philippines is currently experiencing La Nina. These weather patterns leads to localized thunderstorm, easterlies, and intertropical convergence zone, ITCZ, which can develop into typhoon. This often brings heavy downpours in the afternoons and late evenings. Baluran also cautioned residents in landslide-prone areas to stay alert as successive rains can trigger landslide. He advised them to monitor their surroundings for any unusual soil movement and evacuate immediately for or if necessary. No truth to claims. Interior and Local Government Secretary Benhur Avalos Jr. clarified that the department has no intention of demanding an explanation from Davao City Mayor Sebastian Baste Duterte regarding his absence during the recent flooding in Davao City. In a Facebook post on Tuesday morning, July 2, 2024, Avalos stated, "This claims it as far as the DILG is concerned." In a Facebook post on Tuesday morning, July 2, 2024, Avalos stated, "Ito po ay walang katotohanan. This claims is false as far as the DILG is concerned." This clarification comes in response to a July 2, 2024 article by Philstar.com or .com, Filipino Star Ngayon, titled, "Davao City Mayor Baste pagpapaliwanagin ng DILG to ask Mayor Baste for an explanation. The article noted Sebastian's presence in Tacloban City on June 30, 2024 for a campaign while heavy rains caused flooding in Davao City, sparkling discussions about the local government's codes requirements for local chief executive to be present during emergencies for constituent safety. Former Mindanao Development Authority MINDA Secretary Mabel Sunga Acosta mentioned in a June 30 Facebook post that Sebastian and former President Rodrigo Duterte visited Tacloban City to inspect Yolanda Housing Project beneficiaries, coinciding with heavy rains and subsequent flooding in Davao City. National news. AFP to hardens facilities versus missile threats, other attacks. The Armed Forces of the Philippines AFP on Thursday said it is looking into hardening its facilities to make this more resistant to hypersonic missile strike and other forms of attack. A missile attack is a possibility. Yun nga po na i-report na may 25 targets dito. It was earlier reported that there are 25 targets here. That is why we are also preparing for those. Ang isa pong pwede natin gawin, one of those steps is to harden our facilities. We protect our facilities for possible missile attacks. AFP Chief General Romeo Browner Jr. said in a press briefing at Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City, shortly after military first semester command conference with President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Browner was referring to earlier reports quoting Senator Amy Marcos as saying that 25 areas in the country are potential targets of China's hypersonic missiles. In response to the Philippines' approval of the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement with the United States and ongoing tension in the West Philippine Sea, Marcos in a video said, these targets include Batanes, Subic, and Ilocos. Hypersonic missiles are weapons capable of flying towards their targets with speed of 5 to 25 miles the speed of sound. These weapons are hard to track and intercept with ordinary air defense system. Browner said there are a lot of different technologies now available to protect the countries against such strikes. He said missiles and drones attacks are among modern warfare challenges that must be faced, as seen in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and Israel, PNA. PBBM okays AFP's intention to acquire multi-rules fighters. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has already approved the military intentions to acquire multi-rule fighters, MRFs, to be used in boosting the country's defensive capabilities. Armed Forces of the Philippines AFP Chief General Romeo Browner said on Thursday. Browner said that President gave the green light on the measure during Thursday's first semester's command conference in Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City. However, he said a decision has not yet been made on what MRFs the Philippines would buy. As to which, one, wala pa hong decision. As to how many, wala pa ring narating na desisyon. But kailangan natin itong mga MRF. As to which, one and how many units. No decisions has been reached, but we urgently need these MRFs, he said in the press briefing shortly after the command conference. While the 12 units of FAs, 50s in the Philippines Air Force, PAF service, along with their pilots are quite formidable. These aircrafts are still not enough to defend the countries, Browner said. We need to get more of these jet fighters and the multi-role fighters that are actually bigger, faster, and more lethal, he said. Two possible contenders for the MRF projects are the latest models of the US Lockheed Martin made F-16s and the Swedish Saab JAS-39. The F-16 is the latest and the most advanced F-16s in operations today and is considered the foremost combat-proven fourth-generation MRF. It is equipped with advanced radar system, allowing it greater detection and tracking capabilities along with advanced air-to-air and air-to-ground weapons. Could Joe Biden be replaced as a contender in the US election after his debate performance? American voters and people watching around the world were left unimpressed following the United States' first presidential debate of 2024. Both Democratic and Republican candidates were heavily lambasted by the media, with President Joe Biden bearing the brunt of criticism. What happened? Biden delivered an alarmingly lackluster performance, stumbling over words in a hoarse voice and losing his train of thoughts. He has acknowledged his poor showing but blamed it on exhausting and jet lags, following 2 trips abroad earlier in June. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump, the presumptive Republican nominee, was slammed for unleashing a barrage of falsehood. CNN, which hosted the 90-minute debate, said Trump made more than 30 false claims, including an abortion, aid to Ukraine, and the result of the 2020 election. Who won? That being the anonymous view of observers, at least. Biden rejects growing pressure to abandon his campaign, vows to stay to the end. US President Joe Biden vowed to stay in the 2024 presidential race during a call with campaign staff on Wednesday, July 3, and insisted in meetings in Democratic lawmakers and governors that he is fit for re-elections despite his shaky debate performance last week. Biden dialed into a call with worried members of his campaign team and told them he wasn't going anywhere, according to 2 sources familiar with the call. "No one is pushing me out. I'm not leaving. I'm in this race to the end," Biden said in an email blast by his campaign, urging supporters to pitch in a few bucks to help defeat his rival Donald Trump in the November 5 presidential election. The president met virtually in a person with 24 Democratic governors and the mayors of Washington, D.C. on Wednesday evening to resume them. He is reassured them he is up to the job of standard bearer for the party after the faltering debate performance. Only 3 of the governors, the leaders of New York, Minnesota, and Maryland, met with reporters afterwards, vowing to stand with Biden after what they called a honest discussion about he had performance in the last week's debate. Entertainment news. Alip Aziz, a Rohingya plead not guilty to close proximity charges will go on trial in October. On Wednesday, July 3, Singaporean singer-actor Alif Aziz, 33, and Malaysian actress Rehainis, 31, plead not guilty to the charge of being in close proximity, which saw the pair being detained by Federal Territories Islamic Religious Department (JAWI) officers at a condominium in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on March 9. Alif and Rehainis were charged under Sections 27A and Section 27B, respectively, of the Syrian Criminal Offences Federal Territories Act 1999 or 97, which carries a maximum fine of RM 3,000 or $637 or imprisoned for term not exceeding 2 years or both, if found guilty. Speaking to members of the media outside of the Federal Territory, Sharia High Court in Kuala Lumpur, Alif and Rehainis asked the public to pray that case would go on smoothly. The two also fielded questions from reporters, classifying that they arrived at the court separately and were not engaged, despite reports from certain media outlets. Alif explained that he had been resting mentally, emotionally, and physically. I'm also a normal human being, even though I make mistakes, so I'm taking this time to rest and spend time with my family and make my family ties closer. Claudine Barreto flattered, amused by viral "thank you so much" trend. Claudine Barreto said she is really flattered that videos of her saying "thank you so much" multiple times have gone viral on social media, with some of her friends even tagging her as the Queen of Gratefulness. The video shows Barreto posing and then saying "thank you so much" before it abruptly cuts to the actress doing a same thing. She is also surrounded by food from catering services and other products from different businesses. When asked about the videos, the actress admitted she hasn't seen much of them, although she's flattered that netizens noticed them on social media. "Hindi ko alam, basta sinabi lang nila sa akin," she told TV Patrol on Wednesday, July 3. "Hindi ko pa siya nakikita talaga pero nakakatuwa naman kasi sabi, Queen of Gratefulness daw. Hindi ako na-offend kasi maganda naman. I don't know, my friends told me about it. I haven't seen the video yet but I'm happy that I am being tagged as the Queen of Gratefulness. I'm not offended by it because it is a nice thing." For the sports news, German Interior Minister condemns Turkish defender for using Euro 2024 as platform for racism as UEFA opens investigation. The German Interior Minister has condemned the celebration of Turkish defender Merih Demiral following Turkish win against Austria at the European Championship on Tuesday. Demiral scored twice in Turkey 2-1 round of 16 victory and celebrated by making a gesture known as the Wolf Salute, which is associated with Turkey's right-wing extremist group, Grey Wolves. "The symbols of Turkey's right-wing extremists have no place in our stadium," said German Interior Minister Nancy Faeser in the post on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Wednesday, adding that the group is under surveillance in Germany. "Using the European Football Championship as a platform for racism is completely unacceptable. We expect UEFA to investigate the case and consider sanction. Following the win, Demiral posted a picture of himself making the gesture on X. Happy is one of the cause themselves a Turk. The defender captioned the post, "I had certain specific celebration in mind. That's what I did. It has to do with the Turkish identity because I'm very proud to be a Turk. And I felt that to the fullest after the second goal. So I ended up doing that gesture." Demiral told reporters after the game, "I am very happy that I did that." Gilas Pilipinas shocks world number 6 Latvia in strong FIBA Olympics qualifying tournament opener. Kai Soto and Justin Brownlee formed a deadly 1-2 punch as Gilas Pilipinas pulled off an 89-8 shocker against world number 6 Latvia in the 2024 FIBA Olympics qualifying tournament on early Thursday Manila time in Riga, Latvia. Brownlee flirted with a triple-double outing with a team-high 26 markers along with 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block, while the 7-footer Soto impressed with 18 markers on the top 8 boards and dime and 1 block. The Filipinos are now in a good position after improving the 1-0 in a Group A, but still have to win their next game against Georgia later tonight at 8:30 p.m. to advance to the semifinals. Only the winner of the OQT will earn highly coveted Paris Olympic ticket. Featured stories. These are some of Dubai's most expensive luxury hotels room. The city of Golds is known for its all-out glitz and glamour. And with good reason, Dubai is bursting with 5-star hotels that oozes opulence, with over 150 luxurious resorts located across the city. Traveling who are willing to splash the cash are spoiled for choice. But if you want to creamy de la creamy, the money, no object exceptional experiences. Some of the city's luxury hotels offered extravagant suites, penthouse, and exclusive villas that are amongst the cities and the world's most expensive hotel rooms, costing up to $100,000 per night. From $3,800 per night, the Royal Malakia Villa at Jumeirah Dar Al Mashab, the Royal Malakia Villas is the ultimate in indoor-outdoor living. On its ground floor, expensive Arabian-inspired living spaces including a dining room and multiple lounge areas open onto serene patio with a private plunge pool and cabanas. Upstairs, both bedrooms have large terraces overlooking the resort's garden and waterways. And on the roof, there's space to dine, unwind, and sunbath. To help them make the most of the space, guests here also have access to a private butler service, a dedicated Abra boat station, and access to the resort's private beachfront. BGC Savage MNL closes down after 6 years. This is not the end, but a new beginning. Chef Josh Boatwood assures patrons. Chef Juice Boatwood Savage Manilas is closing down after 6 years of business. The restaurant in Aria Plaza Bonifacio Global City, BGC, announced on Tuesday, July 2. Savage Manila or Savage M&L, which opened in April 2018, said a bittersweet goodbye to a journey filled with hard work, creativity, and most importantly, the support and love from its patrons. Boatwood also thanked his hospitality industry friends and bosses for raising the bar for what dining experience can be, and for their faith and support, which had been the backbone of Savage's success. You allowed us to push boundaries, take risks, and create something truly unique. Occasions are underway, but exact details are still under wraps. And for the side stories, let's watch this. For the trivia, don't you know that Davao City is known as the durian capital of the Philippines? Davao City is not only famous for these unique fruits but also for its rich cultural heritage, diverse attraction, and progressive economic growth. That's all our news for today. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell button for you to be updated of the activities of the Pinoy Rab YouTube channel. This is Gilbert Lopez Martije Cacho. Good morning.